You are 39 years old, and you are sitting in your studio apartment in Cleveland on a Wednesday in March when you see the headline, Bitcoin has crossed $100,000 per coin. The article is on your phone. You scroll past it because the number is meaningless to you. You scroll back to it because something at the edge of your memory is moving. You scroll back to it again because you remember very faintly that in 2013, when you were a 28-year-old graphic designer earning $44,000 a year in Pittsburgh, you bought some Bitcoin. You do not remember how much. You do not remember where it went. You remember a USB drive. You remember a Post-it note. You remember thinking in 2017 when the price hit $19,000 and you searched a moving box and found nothing, that the whole thing had probably been worth $9,000 anyway, and you had probably thrown it out, and that was fine, and you moved on with your life. You do not move on with your life on this Wednesday in March. You open your laptop. You search your inbox for the word Coinbase. There is nothing. You search for Bitcoin. You find one email from May 2013. The email is a wallet export confirmation from a service called blockchain.info. The email does not contain a balance. The email contains a date, a wallet identifier, and a polite reminder to back up your seed phrase. You do not remember backing up the seed phrase. You remember the USB drive. The USB drive is in a moving box in your storage unit in Lakewood. You drive to Lakewood. You arrive at 8:14 p.m. The unit smells like wet cardboard. The box is at the bottom of the stack. You find the USB drive in 11 minutes. You drive home. You do not breathe correctly the whole way. You plug the USB drive into your laptop at 9:47 p.m. The drive contains 4 files. 2 of them are deleted. The third is a JPEG of you and a girlfriend you have not spoken to since 2014. The fourth is a wallet.dat file. You open Bitcoin Core, which you have not opened in 12 years, and you load the wallet. The progress bar takes 7 minutes. The screen finally resolves. The balance reads 1,120.46 BTC. You stare at the number. You do not understand it yet. You open a second browser window. You type Bitcoin price USD. The page loads. The current price is $100,180. You open the calculator app on your phone. You type 1,120.46 multiplied by 100,180. You press equal. The screen displays $112,237,668.80. You sit with that number for 41 minutes. You do not move. You do not text anyone. You eat a slice of cold pizza off the counter without remembering picking it up. At 10:38 p.m., you remember, somewhere behind the math, that the wallet is encrypted. You click the wallet send screen. A dialog box appears asking for the password. You type the most likely password you used in 2013, a sentence from a song you liked at the time, and press enter. The dialog box says, incorrect password, 9 attempts remaining before this wallet is permanently locked. The dialog box is wrong. The wallet does not lock at 0 attempts. The wallet just slows down. But you do not know this in the moment. In the moment, the words 9 attempts remaining go through your spine like a wire. You spend the next 3 days not sleeping. You write down every password you have ever used. You find 43 of them. You try the 7 most likely, variations of birthdays, phone numbers, song lyrics, names of dogs. None of them work. You stop at attempt 7. You have 2 left before the lockout you do not realize is fake. You stop because you understand, somewhere in the back of your head, that you are now operating under conditions where mistakes are no longer survivable. You remember the Post-it. You remember that in 2013 you wrote the password on a yellow Post-it and stuck it inside the cover of a paperback you were reading. You remember the book, a Cormac McCarthy novel. You search your apartment. You do not own the book anymore. You remember selling it to a used bookstore in Pittsburgh in 2015. You remember the bookstore's name. You drive to Pittsburgh on Saturday. The bookstore is closed. It has been closed since 2019. The space is now a vape shop. You stand outside the vape shop for 28 minutes. You drive back to Cleveland. You start the search differently. You go through every email, every photograph, every journal you kept between 2012 and 2014. You find a photograph from June 2013 of your old apartment. On the kitchen table in the photograph, partially in frame, the corner of a yellow Post-it is visible. You zoom in. The handwriting is yours. You can read 4 letters. The 4 letters are Mart. The rest of the word is cut off by the edge of the table. You spend 2 more days trying every password that begins with Mart. None of them work. You have 1 attempt left. You stop. You do not try the last attempt. You email a man named Patrick Melhorn in Berlin. Patrick runs a small firm that specializes in recovering lost cryptocurrency wallets. You found him on a forum. He charges 18% of the recovered amount plus a $40,000 retainer paid up front in fiat, non-refundable. You wire him the $40,000 from a personal line of credit. You do not have $40,000. You have $11,000 in savings and a credit limit of $30,000. You move the $30,000 to a checking account and add the $11,000 and wire it on Tuesday. Patrick replies on Wednesday with a single line: "Send the wallet." He does not mean the physical USB. He means an encrypted copy. You send him the wallet.dat file through a service he specifies. He sends you back a 41-page intake document. The document asks you 312 questions. Most of the questions are about your life in 2013. What music you listened to, what movies you watched, where you lived, who you dated, what pets you owned, what you ate, what words you used in conversations, what words you avoided, what software you used, what computers you owned, what passwords you used on other accounts in the same year, what variations you used, what patterns you used. You spend 9 days answering the questions. You answer 287 of them. The other 25 you cannot remember. Patrick replies, "Acceptable." He says he will need 4 to 6 weeks to build a candidate password set, using a custom dictionary attack seeded on your answers. He says the wallet will not lock. The 9 attempts remaining was a UI artifact. He says he will need additional answers as the work progresses. He says in the same email, "Do not attempt the password yourself again. Whatever the wallet says, do not test it. Wait." You wait. You wait for 4 weeks and 3 days. Patrick sends a status email every Friday. The emails are short. They say things like 10,700 candidates tested, no match. 16,200 candidates tested, no match. And adjusting heuristic on common 2013 password patterns. Continuing. You do not tell anyone. Not your sister who lives in Phoenix. Not your father who is 71 and lives in Florida with congestive heart failure and a feeding tube. Not the woman you have been dating for 8 months, a paralegal named Kara who works downtown and who has never seen the inside of your storage unit. You do not tell them because money you cannot see yet is money you have not earned yet, and money you have not earned yet should not change the dinner table. You also do not tell them because you do not know whether you will get the password back. You sit with the wallet on a USB drive in a small, fireproof safe you bought from a hardware store in week 2. You sit with the fact that you might walk away from this with nothing. You sit with the fact that you might walk away with $112 million minus 18%, which is $92,034,888, and that the difference between those two outcomes is a password your 28-year-old self wrote on a Post-it in a kitchen in 2013 and threw away in 2015. On a Tuesday in week 5, Patrick emails you the password. He sends it in 3 parts across 3 encrypted channels. You assemble it. The password is 23 characters long. It begins with Martinique. You had spelled Martin Meek, but the Post-it had been cropped before the last letter. The rest of the password is a date, an underscore, and a song lyric. You unlock the wallet at 4:11 p.m. on the Tuesday of week 5. You transfer the 1,120.46 BTC to a new cold storage wallet that Patrick walked you through setting up. You pay Patrick his 18%, which is 201.68 Bitcoin, valued that day at $20,202,560. You sit in your studio apartment in Cleveland on Tuesday evening with $91,835,108 in Bitcoin in a hardware wallet on your desk. You do not know what to do. You order Thai food. You eat half of it. You sleep 9 hours for the first time in 8 weeks. You wake up on Wednesday and you do not feel different. You feel the same as you did on the Tuesday before the headline. You go to work because you have not quit your job. You drink coffee at 10 a.m. You answer emails. At lunch, you walk to the bank and you open a private wealth conversation with a woman named Anita Voss, who works out of a downtown branch and handles high net worth onboarding for the bank's parent. You sit across from Anita. You tell her your situation. You expect her to react. She does not react. She has seen this twice this year already. The Bitcoin millionaires are arriving, she tells you. She walks you through the same 3 options you have read about in articles all month. Same apartment, modest upgrade, full reset. And she watches your face when she says them. You go home. You sit at the kitchen table. You think about your father in Florida with the tube. You think about Kara, who does not know. You think about the bookstore in Pittsburgh that is now a vape shop. You think about the photograph of the Post-it. You did not earn this money. You bought $40,000 worth of an experimental currency in a year when you barely understood what it was, and you forgot it. And the math waited 12 years and handed it back to you. You did not work harder than the people who lost theirs. You did not predict the future. You did not deserve it. The wallet did not care. The math did not care. The math just held the position while you were not looking. You will be a different person inside a year. You do not know who yet.